Hey folks, Cool18 here, and welcome to another episode of our little Let's Play of XCOM 2, Long War 2. So at the end of the last episode, I think what we decided is I was going to make contact in a new region, hopefully try to get some income up, just develop some more things. We are currently, hoping to discover another lead. We've got Alien Biotech coming in 2 days, Guerrilla Tactics School going to get done in 2 days, and our first supply drop in 9 days. So we're going to head over here. I mean, maybe it would be better to sit around the existing haven and scan and just get missions, but I don't know, I think this is going to be fine. So we'll go ahead and scan over here, try to make some contacts somewhere new. It'll open up some options, maybe some new mission areas. This must be the Alien Biotech is completed. So we're finding out a little bit more about the microchip in people's brains. This, I guess, a new objective, complete the officer autopsy research. I think we do have an autopsy corpse. We can build armor-piercing rounds at this point, too, if we have the materials, which we may not because we sold some stuff. So, we've got a few new things over here that wasn't in the base game. So we can do a trooper autopsy, and I suspect when this is done, we'll have the option to do a officer autopsy, assuming we do actually have an officer corpse. The other thing we can do is we can render the trooper corpse, or trooper corpses, and we may have multiple of them. This will render one corpse into 2 ally. It'll create materials for us. We can also do that with the sectoid corpse, which will do 3 alloys. So I'm assuming we can still sell these on the black market for supplies, but we can also use this to get material, which is interesting. We've also got this basic research and engineering research jobs over here, which apparently will reduce the time for future research. So at some point, we're definitely going to want to take time to do this. I think I'm just going to go ahead with the trooper autopsy now because I'm not sure. But doesn't this unlock like new armor or something in the base game? I don't know what it's going to do in Long War, but anyway, we're gonna do that. I think that's going to be okay. The Guerrilla Tactics is almost done. We'll probably just go back over to the Worldscape and just advance forward a tiny little bit here. Excellent. So the Guerrilla Tactics School is done. So later we'll be able to train officer abilities, but we have to unlock that, and I'm sure we don't have the money for it. Upgrade. Actually, it would only be 35 supplies, and doesn't even require energy. Let's get that unlocking, or unlocked. So, soldiers of sufficient rank can undergo specialized training at the Guerrilla Tactics School. Studying to become an officer. They will be unavailable for combat during the training process. Important, only the highest ranking officer in a squad will be able to utilize their abilities on a mission, so choose carefully who you want to promote. Oh. Okay, so it looks like officer is anyone who has specialized into a class. So anyone who's not specialized, that's actually, these are Lance Corporals. So these are people who have upgraded once. It's possible that I don't have a squatty, but I suspect rookies and squatties are not available. You at least have to be a Lance Corporal, and you can get some new upgrades. We're going to have to think about that. The other thing we can do is we can upgrade rookies into a specific class. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip over to the armory over here. We're going to look at our soldiers. And yeah, it's sorted by rank. I'm actually going to invert sort, so all my rookies are at the top over here. I wonder if the wounded rookies are possible. So what I would like to do probably is the ones with, say, the highest hacking, we want to go and upgrade them to a specialist. Now, I think once they become a specialist, they get a big boost. Like, you can see Alexander over here. He's got a 51 rating. So the specialist class must add, I don't know, 40 points or something above what was already there. So it's possible that the classes get matched with whatever their specialties would be anyway. So it seems like having Ernesto over here become our hacker, our specialist, makes a lot of sense. Ernesto Diaz. He's really accurate too, though. Although, specialists do shoot as well. Doesn't have a whole lot of hit points, doesn't have a whole lot of movement, so maybe not a frontliner. Could be a good candidate for a sniper as well. But with the 13 hack, we'll do that. Let's see if Ernesto is available. I guess we can get to it from here, can't we? Guerrilla Tactics School. If he's available for an upgrade. And the answer is no, so injured people cannot. Okay, that's good to know. So we'll have to wait for Ernesto a little bit. Anyone else with, like, a particularly good hack? Not at this time. Well, I mean, no one else has got 2 digits, right? Out of the rookies, anyway. Because, yeah, it stops being a rookie at that point. Okay, next thing to look at might be accuracy. Most like, or even hit points. But here we go. Look at Kojo over here. There's Sam Chang as well. But Kojo, to me, needs to be a sniper, right? His movement speed is actually terrible, which might make it a little hard to get him positioned on top of rooftops and everything like that. Although you got to remember, our snipers tend to just double move and then just sit and fire and things like that. So there's going to be less time where you have to single move into appropriate cover and then take an action. So Kojo Dijkale over here, his low movement and lower health and lower dodge means he really will not want to be a frontline fighter. So Kojo, we're going to make you into a sharpshooter. Kojo, right over here. Boom. Yes, you're not going to be eligible, but that's okay. And we're going to make you into a sharpshooter. Now, shinobis are the stealth, right? Scouting units and the sword, yeah. So let's also consider training a shinobi. So to me, the best shinobi would be someone with a really high movement rate. Because it'll give them the chance to close with their target for melee a lot easier. Also, because they're so stealthy, once they become a shinobi, they have the, I don't remember the name of it, but it's a thing where you don't break concealment what the rest of your squad does. So you can stay stealth for a little bit longer. It would probably be nice to have someone with a bit more hit points, because it is kind of a front line thing. I don't know if accuracy matters as much. Probably still, but like Mark Rue, I'm sort of wondering about. You know, good movement speed, also good willpower. Kind of sucks on the dodge, which is too bad. Doesn't have a penalty to defense though, so that might be handy. It's got the 1 extra hit points, but yeah, like high movement. I mean, I think any of the 17s, maybe even the 16s, would be liable. So William Washington here, he's a little bit less tough. So Mark Rue, we're going to start with you. You're going to become a shinobi. So we go here, Guerrilla Tactics School, Mark Rue. It'd be nice if the stats were on this page. And you are going to, yes, shinobi it up. Bam. Excellent. So then the other thing we can do is look into the idea of officer training. The problem is if we did it now, right, the person doing the officer training is not going to be available. So most likely we don't want to remove it. I suppose it makes sense to maybe get an officer for like, well, we're going to want an officer for each squad. I think we will just wait a little bit before we start to do that.
Officers might be more resourceful than your average.
Did it not? I wonder if all the people who were in a squad weren't available in that list. I don't know. Anyway, let's just go back to the worldscape here and see when we get a mission, because we don't have one yet, right? We've got the black market. We're making contact in East Asia, and that's going to be fine. So let's keep doing that. Hopefully we'll finish this before the next supply drop. I don't know how much money this will add to us. So I think it's making 67 per month. Okay, we got a guerrilla op target. Let's review the target. Now, again, this screen doesn't show us the time. So if I just... Oh, okay, I right-clicked out of that mission, but what happened is the timer for our contact finished. This is us making contact into a region. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Okay, and now we can reach Western US, New India, New Indonesia. Okay. All right, that's good. This mission here, what's our timer? 1 day, 23 hours. Okay, so that's a no-go. I mean, maybe we could do it if we spent 1 billion intel, but it's not practical for us to try to do that mission, so we're just going to ignore that, and that's the way it's going to be. Okay, let's scan over here. So, sorry, that's not actually what I meant to say. But I guess it's fine. So we have another mission here, which will give us an engineer. What I was going to do is take a look at the allocation of people in these areas. So I think what we want, this place is not giving us much in the way of supply. I don't know if it's because of the higher advent strength or what, but I was doing some reading in the, let's back out here. In the command XCOM archives, if we scroll all the way down, and it loads sort of oddly here for some reason. There we go. We can find out about Haven management over here. It describes the various jobs. So supply will give you supply. Recruit will... recruits may either join the local Haven, or if they have potential as XCOM trooper, they will enter a pool of potential recruits with soldier training. And also, somewhere here it says that you can have up to 13 people. There we go, 13 people in a Haven. So I think one of the first things we might want to do is try to, especially that new one, try to get the recruits to come in a little bit sooner to fill in the Haven to give us more people. So supply gives us supply, recruit gives us either more Haven people or more soldiers to recruit, intel gives us intel. And then you got the hiding job. They will produce no resource, but they will also avoid unwanted attention from Advent. Busy havens are more likely to track Advent retaliatory strikes, so putting rebels on the hiding job will lower the haven's profile. I don't know if it'll just make it so that they don't count as being there, or I don't know if they'll like overdo it. Like if you're at 13 people total, maybe you always want a couple people on hiding. It sounds like it's just them hiding as opposed to them working to camouflage the entire haven. So I'm not as interested in that, but it might be a short-term solution to a problem in an area. So there's reprisals. We can also assign XCOM advisors, which we've seen before in the haven at the top there. We can assign soldiers or scientists or engineers. Soldiers boost the recruit job, scientists boost the intel job, engineer boost the supply job. Soldiers will also, it says in here, be present for associated haven missions there. So that's good to know. So one thing is somewhere along the way, I think the new recruits go into the hiding job by default, because over here in our West Asia haven, we've got someone who went to hiding in here. So that's possible. I think I'm going to go and put you to supply. And over here, I'm going to go and I'm going to switch one from supply to recruit and one from intel to recruit. We're going to try to pad this out as quickly as possible, plus maybe get some new recruit options. So, it's 2 days for the VIP extraction as well. Good God. That's probably because of the lack of scanning. Now, again, the Advent strength is a little higher over here. I'm wondering if it's a good idea to scan here, such that we can maybe get missions that'll help us lower the Advent strength here and make this haven safer and maybe more productive. Because if I'm reading this right, this only adds 6 supply per month versus the 68 over here, and it's crewed 4 for the next supply drop. I don't know. Maybe after the supply drop, maybe this is just how much it'll produce for the next supply drop. It'll reach +6, and then after that goes, then it'll have the full total for the month. So it'll say, oh, you're going to do 45 next month, which is likely. But still, the Advent strength is a little higher here, so I feel like we should sit here and scan. And I think what this does is it increases the chance of getting a mission. So you got a high priority mission, Operation Damned Death, which would also give us an engineer and an intel package. So 8 days, there we go. We definitely want that one. So let's go ahead and confirm this mission. Vroom. And we'll take a look at the stats and how we want to approach it. This is going to give us lots of time for infiltration here. Extremely light and lots of time. Although this squad here would currently take 9 days, 6 hours to infiltrate. I think this might be a good time for us to use Super 6. Now, I'm leaving it at 6 people all the time because, you know, it's called Super 6. We could, of course, rename the squad Super 7, maybe add a 7th person in here. That being said, I did do some checking, and if you do reach 100% infiltration, it would normally say infiltration normal, but it can go beyond that, which is what happened to us before. You can super infiltrate a site and get beyond normal and get a much, much, much easier infiltration. What I'm wondering about is, do we have another non-injured? Yeah, okay. Mary Peters is no longer injured, so we're going to put you back in here. I took you out temporarily. Or actually, or was I just alternating you for a second there? I don't know. But we have we have 1 Lance Corporal, we have a Squatty, and 4 rookies. We could transfer some things from the other squad as well. And that might not be a bad idea. Maybe we go actually with 3 experienced people and 3 rookies. Right, so who do we want to add in here? We've got an Assault, a Technical. This is Rescue a VIP. I don't think we have to worry about hacking too much. I'm actually thinking a Shinobi, because I love having someone who can keep scouting. So Arjun over here, we're going to go ahead and transfer you from the other squad. So this is going to be the Super 6 here. We've got a couple of heavies, actually, between the Assault and the Technical. The Technical doesn't have a lot of health. We're going to get one of the rookies is going to get rid of the frag grenade here. We're going to get a med kit instead. That's going to be okay. Oh, you know what? We don't have any personal combat sims put in yet. Do we have anything that would just give us bonus health? I wonder. More defense and more aim. Weapon upgrades. I don't know how many we've got kicking around. Just a hair trigger. Bonus reaction. Gains 5 bonus aim on reaction fire shots. I'm trying to just figure out like where the best thing for that might be. I think everything's kind of even. With the low base health, I'm wondering if it's a good idea to throw some extra defense on this character. And I think that might be true. So we're going to give you the plus 10 defense over here to reduce the chance that you can't be killed. Hey, achievement unlocked. Harder, better, faster, stronger. This is on a dummy account that 2K set up for me, so it is like basically a fresh account with nothing else going on here. Who would we like to give bonus aim to? I don't know if the Shinobi needs it. Assault's got the shotgun, which is quite nice. Does good damage. You know what? Let's just go ahead and do that. I'm really bad about like just saving everything forever and not using it correctly. We'll get lots of these later on. We can go and sub things out. Right, it's got 3 slots, which is so much better than before. So you're going to get a +5 to hit on reaction fire if you set up for that sort of thing. So we'll look into doing that. We might be able to nickname you because you got your other rank now. No, still no nickname. Gain more experience. So Lance Corporal still isn't enough. All right. So I think we're going to do with this, and we're going to hope that we can get a turbo infiltration bonus. Infiltration start. Because that'll make it a lot easier. Still, it is supposed to be relatively light resistance. I assume even if we get to normal infiltration level, we should be able to do that mission relatively successfully. And that'll get us an engineer, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and deploy you. That's going to be fine. Nice long time for that. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I'm feeling like what I want to do is sit here and scan in this area. So what do you have? We have low intel, low income, and unstaffed soldier, guerrilla tactics. Oh, yes. The training. All right, I should probably train one of my people to be an officer. So let's take a look at our squad. So squad victory over here. We're going to remove Arjun from this because Arjun is in more than one squad at this point. So that's not the button I'm supposed to hit. I'm going to move you from here. No? Oh, that's kind of weird. I can't... To me, this feels like a bit of a bug. Because Arjun is infiltrating as part of the Super 6, I can't remove him from Victory Squad. Now, I can still go and do a mission with this. I think this person will just be short, and that'll be okay.
That's all we've got.
So the question becomes, out of this group, who do I want to have be the leader?
Get this heap airborne again.
I'm more than happy to prove him wrong.
I mean, rank, I don't know. I don't think matters for the officer, other than it's the highest ranked officer that gets the officer bonus. Probably we want someone who's least likely to get killed because we're investing in them. So to me, I'm thinking that's a sharpshooter, but I guess it depends on what the officer abilities are. I think the other alternative might be a specialist, especially since, actually, you don't have very high willpower compared to some of these others. But, again, it might be a little less likely for me to throw them into the heat. Or we could take someone with ridiculously high hit points, which might mean Chase Cook getting leveled up. Let's not do anything with it quite yet, because if anything else, we're going to need people for the mission. So we'll just go ahead and wait. And yeah, we'll do some scanning. Over here is what I want to do. I mean, this was a lot closer. And I don't know if it makes sense, like scanning here will increase the chance of finding a mission here, but I'm hoping. Okay, we got a transmission. Oh, this is probably Shady Guy letting me know about... Ooh. Unknown cause. We actually lost some money as a result of maybe some of our failed missions or something. Well, we'll definitely go and investigate this right away.
We can conduct guerrilla operations to disrupt one of these efforts.
It's quick to pick up, maybe because it's so small.
We don't have the resources to intercept.
Training complete. Okay, we've got our sharpshooter. We're going to carry on, and we are going to... Central, shut up. And we want to keep recruiting, improving our various... Ernesto had a potential for something, and I don't remember what. Oh, Ernesto was going to be a specialist with the drone. He had turbo hacking abilities, which is great. I don't know if the rest of them are particularly important one way or another, so we're just going... no one else had like crazy standout stuff, so mostly we're going to go for just duplicates of previous things. So let's get an assault, for example, and then we'll see. Okay. Go back over here. Finish the supply drop pickup. Done.
Commander, to aid in your efforts, we have gathered additional resources and staff at Resistance headquarters. For
Right.
your use.
We're going to hold off on that. I'm going to come back over here. So yeah, it is going to get 31 over here. Still not as much as the main one. And I'm going to continue to try to scan over here. I don't know if this is the right approach. Autopsy done. New facility available. Proving ground. Ah, that's actually quite important. Yes, that's where I make the ammo, grenades, armor. Very important to build that. And so I don't want to render any of the corpses down for material right now. I'm just going to go ahead and do the basic research job, which apparently will increase the rate of our research down the road. So that sounds like a good thing. I think this episode isn't actually going to have a attack in it, because we are still working on our infiltration over here. I think there's going to be no combat in this episode. Dark events. Do we have any information about it? No. Alright. Review target. Recover item. Extremely light resistance. We get some intel. Let me ignore for a sec and just mouse over. 2 days, 17 hours. I mean, we could do it. We could go and burn some intel, or we could go in without the full infiltration. Probably need a smaller squad. And that's the other thing. We could go with a pretty small squad and do it. I don't know. I mean, I keep skipping for now. It's probably why we didn't get as much money, though. Got another one over here. So this would give us resistance personnel. 7 days, 7 hours. Okay. Sabotage the Advent Monument. Sounds like fun. So we're going to go over there. We'll use Victory Squad, which will be short one person, because the other person's infiltrating. This is going to take no time to infiltrate, because the base infiltrations... and I guess maybe it's the nature of the mission, because the squad size modifier is quite small. It must have to do with the type of mission it is. You can fit more people in on these, which is good. So yeah, we'll definitely have to have some squads that are specialized for extremely tight timers and very low requirements. So we're going to just grab pretty much just some random people over here. Oh, this is... Okay, the Shinobi and Sharpshooter. So they've already got their promotion. Do we want to take them? So, do we have a Shinobi in here? Sharpshooter special? No, we don't. So I will grab a Shinobi, because our old Shinobi has been assigned to the other team. We're still good on time. I don't think we can put another one in here without going over, because we're almost at 7 days, yeah, so it seems not likely. We've got a specialist. You've got the med kit going on in here. Probably one is just enough. These are all people who have been promoted at least one time. No, we have a rookie over here. Okay, which is fine. Rookie with a frack ton of health. Rookie, you know what we're going to do? You're going to carry a backup med kit, just in case. I'm going to feel a lot better about that. And... infiltrate. Yeah! And yeah, this has gone on for 23 minutes already, so almost certainly what I'm going to do is we're going to, I don't know, sit around somewhere and scan or something like that. And start infiltration. We're at 91% there. Yeah, we'll just sort of advance things to the next thing. I still don't know if this is the right thing, but let's go ahead and do that. At least we won't have to move the Avenger back to where we're doing the mission when the timer hits. So you can see we're over 100% there. Another mission in this area. There we go. How much time do we have for that? 1 day, 8 hours. So let's see. Almost certainly this will be a small squad thing. I guess I can probably do that from here, right? If I go and click on this, and I can say, yeah, let's try this. Now, 1 day. Base infiltration is 5 days. Okay, so yeah, so we can't do this one. Even, like I could say, I can make a new squad, right? Foxtrot over here, and start adding some soldiers who aren't out there. But even with spending intel, I doubt we're going to be able to get that and not be crazy. And we've seen how hard things can be in the past. Okay, it didn't actually create Foxtrot. Good. So when we go when it's too early, so we can't risk that. It would be really nice, but it's not possible. There we go. There's another one over there. I'm just going to hit ignore for a sec. And yeah, 1 day, 3 hours. That's probably because this area has been around for a while. So I suspect at some point soon, we will indeed get one of these missions with a lot more time. Now, I want to take a look over here. They are vulnerable. I don't know if it'll go any higher than that, but we don't have much more time over here anyway. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to go and start the Extract VIP job over here. They're vulnerable. Team Super 6 is in here. Half rookie, half established soldiers. Rescue a VIP. I think that's going to be fine. It should, and based on what we saw last time when the mission was vulnerable, this should actually be a shockingly easy mission as a result of our infiltration level. So we'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm.
Target will be well defended.
It's a single VIP.
Secure the area and eliminate any hostiles to expedite the rescue.
It's from a vehicle, which actually has proven to be a little trickier, I think, in the past because it's a little bit more of an open area. So clearing the area where we release the VIP can be a little bit trickier before we feel like confident about making the move on the van, instead of sort of just storming inside of a building, which has far fewer angles for us to worry about, and it's easier for us to set up the ambush. We will have a shinobi on this mission, though. This is the shinobi on this mission is the one that we have been using in Victory Squad before, but has been transferred over. Wait, that's a long loading time. There we go. Press key to launch. Okay, but yes, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here because this episode is long enough. Sorry there was no actual combat in this one, but, I mean, the management of the base is also very, very interesting to me. So next episode, we will see if we can't rescue the VIP, who's very close. I suspect we're going to have a very short timer, if there is one. There's our evac point. 13 turns. Okay, the evac point's a little further away, but the VIP extraction or a rescue, I don't know, VIP contact, I guess we can say, is going to be pretty fast. So we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. See you next time.